What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. All right, we are officially here with the E36 after finally being able to wash it and finally being able to install the clutch master cylinder. Honestly, I didn't do a video about the clutch master cylinder because it was legitimately a pain in the butt to do. But since I finally had got my wheels, I was able to get motivated again to pretty much finish up my clutch master cylinder. So we finally got the wheels on, and now also we were able to wash it and pretty much have it ready for detailing, which I'm going to be buffing. If you guys remember, I mentioned this, I had done a paint job before, and it got a lot of overspray on the car. So it's clean, but there's a lot of overspray, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to go ahead and grab my buffer. I'm going to go ahead and detail it and make all that overspray go away, and at the same time I'm going to be doing, I think it's 2 to 3 steps on what I'm going to have to be doing, probably 4 because of the amount of probably work, but obviously I would say anywhere between 3 to 4 steps of me having to buff, polish, and pretty much do the final details. I was able to pick up a light because last time I did this job it was complicated because I don't have enough lighting, but I was able to get a lighting for this to help me do the job today. So before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and move the car back. If you guys notice, on the top of the roof, I got 3 lights working on this side and 2 lights working on this side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and center it, set my lighting up, and then get my buffer, and we're gonna go ahead and do what I call the dirty. But no, we're gonna go ahead and get to work. We're gonna go ahead and clean it up. We're gonna make this thing look nice so we can be able to hit the streets. One more detail I forgot to mention that we will be getting to, not today, but maybe tomorrow or whatnot. I have to roll the fenders on the car because my tires are rubbing. And if you guys recall, if you guys watched my other episode, install the tires. These tires are stretched pretty good, and it's pretty much hitting the top of my fenders. So we're gonna be stretching that, and we're gonna be making it worth the while, so we can go ahead and do some cool sick skids, you know, whatever you name it. We're gonna have some fun. So that's what I want to do. Let's get to it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I got my stuff that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my clay bar and the special tool that I usually use, the special liquid that I usually use with my clay. So I'm not going to do a how-to on this. I'm just pretty much want to just tell you a little bit what it does in case you didn't know. The clay usually takes away like any surface, either like gunk or just like hard stuff that builds up over time. That's usually what the clay does. So that's gonna be my first step to this. I'm only gonna do half of it, which is from here to here, and I'm gonna see how the clay does to this. Hopefully it can take a lot of it away, and if not, I got my buffer and my liquid that it should definitely take away the layer. So let's go ahead and do it. And then I'm gonna spray my clay a little bit, and I'm gonna go. I don't know if you guys hear that. It's like scraping away at that buildup. So let's do it. Let's just do it and knock it out. And it's definitely really sticky, really nasty stuff. But like I said, you know, as long as it helps, because this stuff's on there. This is gonna be killer. You guys hear that? That's like I said, all that. Ugh. It almost sounds like when you you know, scratch that thing when you're in school and you go like that to the chalkboard, it makes that noise. That's kind of how it feels. Pretty much what it's supposed to be doing. After it's smooth enough, this thing should be able to glide right down. See how it's sticking right there? Oh. That's what you want. That's how nice you want it. All right, so now that I'm done using the clay and pretty much taking off as much excess, you almost can't feel the difference from this to this right here. So now it's time for me to use my buffer and my liquid. The reason why I clayed it instead of going straight to the buffer is because when it's very, very heavy, this stuff builds up really, really heavy onto the pad. And what I don't want is for any weird debris or any excess weird hard stuff that can accumulate to start accidentally scratching. And I mean by scratching, deep scratching, to the point where I can't restore my paint to where it needs to be. I'm not a professional. I want to make sure I lay that out. I'm not a professional at buffing, but I've done quite a bit of cars, including a lot of black cars. I'm in the business of flipping cars. So most of them have been black. I just happen to, I guess, become decent enough to be able to do this kind of work on my car. And if I mess it up, it's okay. It's my car and I'm willing to take the risk. But if you try to do this and you're not professional, you would be doing this at your risk. So I'm just gonna do it the way I do it. This is the way it works for me. But yeah, that's the reason why I went ahead and clayed it, so it can take a lot of that heavy accumulation of, like, you know, paint when I painted the other one. Even though I covered it up, it just, you can see right here the overspray literally just kind of covered my window. And this is like real little overspray to none to overspray, and you can hear that. So I'm gonna go ahead and buff it now. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my pad because I haven't used this in a little bit. So, you know, again, I'm probably gonna get judged of how much I use, but this is the way I do it, and this is the way it's worked for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my pad first. How it starts to pretty much, you can tell, pretty much heavy overspray to now starting to take away overspray on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and finally just give it a really good, nice pass over it, and hopefully we can take most of it off. All right, so all this is still residue, and I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it off so you guys can see a little bit more of how much more better it's starting to look. Okay, so I was able to go ahead and pretty much do the best that I can with my heavy pad. So this car didn't have perfect paint when I got it again. It needed a buff job. I gave it to it. It looked really good. This area is actually the worst area of the trunk. So what was going on here is I have paint, pretty much paint, and then clear coat. So the clear coat is was actually peeling from this whole area. So I have little areas like here, you know, where it's not completely perfect because there's, again, there's paint with no clear coat, and then the clear coat area. So what I pretty much did was ghost it, you know, before all of this happened to it. And now I just have to be pretty much careful to the point where I don't start taking paint off, because, you know, there's only so much you can try to correct. And especially when you're just on paint, you have to be careful with it because you don't want to dig in and then start bringing up whatever primer is under there, and it just looks ugly. But if you guys can see the difference, pretty much from here and down, that's all overspray. From here and up, all the way to here, this is all pretty much redone. Now I have to do 2 more steps to it, but before I go ahead and do the other 2 steps, I'm gonna make sure that I get the rest of the car so we can bring it back to this, and then we're gonna do the other 2 steps so it can be completely shiny, completely nice, and a lot more, with a lot less imperfections on it. Hopefully you guys can capture, you know, the big difference. It's really hard to capture it on camera, it doesn't do it justice, but definitely the big difference from gray overspray to nice black, and then it's gonna become a very nice deep shiny black when I'm fully done with the car. Let's go ahead and finish the rest of the car, and with the magic of editing and powers and T-Motorfied powers, here we go, let's do it. Alright guys, so I'm all done with the E36. That was a heck of a lot of work. They had to get done to it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a side-by-side of what it looked like before and after. So, take a peek. So finally I'm done buffing the car, and it's finally to where I'm actually pretty darn happy to where it's at right now. We are back to that deep black, back to the nice shine, compared to, as you guys can see, the comparison from how it was all ashy and oversprayed and dirty to what it is now. As I mentioned earlier, this paint was not pretty much in perfect condition when I first bought the car. It's gone actually a long way from where I started to where it is now. There's still so much more we got to go through. We're still prepping the car so that I can be able to drift the car. The next step is gonna be me rolling the fenders. I don't know if you guys can see the back. I'm actually rubbing, even though my tire is pretty much stretched. I'm rubbing, so I gotta go ahead and get the fender roller, and after that, I need to get my differential welded, and hopefully, I'm seeing if I can get some suspension in. It's still running on the Bilstein M3 style suspension. That's what it came with. So it has pretty good suspension. Bilstein is pretty good. You guys know it's pretty expensive, but I would definitely want to go with some coilovers. Hopefully I can get some really good coilovers for it. I possibly want to go ahead and do a handbrake. If you guys don't know, BMWs actually tend to come with pretty good original steering, but I also bought it's like I'm gonna call it a beginner style angle kit. So it's very beginner style. I'm also gonna be looking in the future to get a pro style, because this is gonna be a car that I definitely want to be throwing it down at the track and definitely getting some awesome cool seat time, because that's exactly the purpose of this car. My first drift car, and I want to make sure I can execute it, and hopefully you guys are in for the ride. I hope you guys enjoyed pretty much the turnout and the magic that we're able to do here. Next is going to be my G35. That one's going to get a little bit more cleaned up. My Cadillac needs to get cleaned up, but this one we're definitely going to be hitting the streets. I got to do on the G35 the clutch. I don't know if it's not the master cylinder, but it's pretty much the one that engages on the tranny. But anyways, I'll show you guys more about that. I'm pretty darn excited, and I want to hit the streets with this car very soon. So I hope you guys are down to come along with me in my ride, and so that we can hit the streets and have some fun. I got some new merch. This is one of the shirts that we just got. Variety of colors, jackets, you name it. It's still winter, it's still cold. Hope you guys can get cozy with the racing edition shirts and jackets that are out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys keep a lookout for the next videos to come. It's only gonna get bigger and better, so I hope you guys are in for the ride. Go ahead and buckle up, because we're gonna hit it hard, guys. I'll see you guys next time.